Hi, everybody. Now, this activity, what we needed to do was we needed to determine the linear equation first by looking at our points, y-intercept in the slope, which basically, given 2 points, you can determine your slope and, in this case, the y-intercept as well. This is where the line crosses the y-axis. So for this first problem, b equals 3, because our starting point, 0, 3 is our starting point. And notice how we first went down 1, 2, 3, and then we went to the right 1, 2. That's where we get our slope, m equals -3/2. And since we have a y-intercept and a slope, voila, we have an equation. Y equals -3/2x plus 3. Now for number 2, we eventually get our y-intercept of +3, yet we get our slopes by using one of the other points, set of points that are featured on this graph. So first we go to the point all the way to the left. Looks like -4, -3. That's our point here. And notice for the slope, we go up 1, 2, 3, and then we go to the right 1, 2. So there's our 3 because we went 3 up, and then we went 2 to the right. So that's where we get our 2 here. And I'm going to color code the 2. I'm going to make it a blue 2. So our slope is 3/2, and then multiplied by x, get our y-intercept 3. There's our linear equation. Y equals 3/2x plus 3. Problem 3, we have our starting point, which is -3. And then notice that we go up 1, 2, 3. So that's our numerator, go up 3. And then we went to the right, 1, 2. So our slope again is -3/2x. But our y-intercept is -3, so that's where we get this -3 from our y-intercept. So many times if we know the y-intercept, that's our starting point. Then we just follow the trend. Problem 4, again, start with our y-intercept, which is our starting point, which is 0, 3. So that's our starting point. And then our trend is go down 3, so it's -3. We go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go get our slope of -3 because we went down 3, and then we went 4 to the right. And then to top it off, our y-intercept plus 3. That's how we can write our equation. Y equals -3/4x plus 3. And for these problems, again, determine your starting point, which is y-intercept. So our y-intercept is -4. So we start at the point 0, -4, and then we follow the trend. In this case, we just go down 1, go to the right 2. Down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, and so on. You could also go up 1, left 2, up, left, up 1, left 2. But you still have a negative slope overall, because dividing a positive by a negative or negative by a positive, result is negative. Now for number 5, again, 0, 3, that's your starting point. So then our trend, since our slope is -2/3, go down 2, 1, 2, then you go to the right, 1, 2, 3. And then we still follow that trend. Down 2, 1, 2, 3, to the right. Down 2, 1, 2, 3 to the right, and so on. Now, whenever we have whole number or integer values for our slope, we need to rewrite the slope as a fraction, which for a whole number, fraction bar, 1 underneath. There you go, there's your fraction. Now for problem 6, we notice that y-intercept is -2, so our starting point on this graph is 0, -2, and then the trend is we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go to the right 1. So we're at the point 1, 2. And then we continue that trend up 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1. So if x is 2, y should be +6, and so on. Similarly, for this problem, y-intercept +2. Here's our starting point, 0, 2. Then we look at our trend, our slope. Slope is -3. Since it's a whole number, or integer in this case, sorry for the wrong classification. Our integer, -3. Write it over 1. There's our fraction. Now we have our trend. So we go down 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. Go down again 1, 2, 3 to the right 1, and etc. Now, we talked about this earlier in the previous set of notes for this activity. Graphing lines from standard form equation. Remember, to get the y-intercept, you need to set x equal to 0. So this is your y-intercept. So that's our y-intercept. You set x to 0. And then when we solve for y will be -2. Again, your x term goes away. Then you have to figure out -3 times what number gives me +6. Answer is -2. Similarly, if y is 0, that's going to help us get our x-intercept. So if y is 0, of course this term goes away, and then you're just left with 2 times x, equals 6. So 2 times what number gives us 6? Voila, x equals 3. And there's your 2 intercepts, 0, -2. And then, even though it's reverse, 3, 0. Y-intercept. So again, be careful. Some of us, we may want to write what we see in order, but your x is first. The y-intercept, not so bad, because our point is in order, x, y. But be careful with the x-intercept. Y is 0, solve for x, x is 3. Next is the following problem. Same thing, x equals 0, y will be 3, because this term goes away. Then you have to figure out 5 times what number gives me 15. That answers 3. Similarly, for the x-intercept, y is 0. Get rid of this middle term. -3 times what number gives me +15? -5. And then you have your points. This is your point 0, 3. And then here, again, -5, 0. Problem 3 we did in class on Thursday. I'm not going to go over that one, but really quick, some cases you can have x-intercepts or y-intercepts that are fractions. This one, x-intercept, y 0, x equals -3/2. Here, for the y-intercept, x is 0, So you have negative y equals negative 6. Remember, that's a negative 1 times y. So we have to divide both sides by negative 1. Y equals 6. That is your y. That's where our y-intercept is located. So again, I'll write the coordinate points, negative 3, 2, over 2, I'm sorry, comma 0, that's x-intercept, so it's going to be between 1 and negative 2. And for your y-intercept, 0 is x, y is 6, and there's your y-intercept. Now, graphing horizontal and vertical lines. Horizontal line, your slope is 0. So that's the case for numbers 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And then, of course, just look where your y-intercept is located. Where does your graph cross the y-axis? So again, y is up and down, x is across. So now if you have a vertical line, which is the case for problems 5, 7, 9, 11, you have an undefined slope. So vertical lines, slope is 0. Look for where the vertical line horizontal lines, horizontal lines, slope is 0. Look where you cross the y-axis. Vertical lines, x. Look where the line crosses x-axis. And your slope is undefined. And then from there, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're either describing a vertical line, which is basically all the odd numbers, horizontal line for all the even numbers. And again, horizontal line, 0 slope. Look where the horizontal line crosses y-axis. Vertical line crosses x-axis. That's your x-intercept, and you have an undefined slope. So problems 9, 10, 11, 12, they gave us points, and we basically had to, for 9 and 10, all of them, you're going to plot your point. And for 9 and 10, they gave us 2 points, which was real easy. That gave us the slope automatically, which for number 9, it was an undefined because you had a vertical line. Number 10, you had a slope of 0 because of a horizontal line. And for 11, graph the point 1, comma 5 with an undefined slope. Again, undefined, vertical line up and down. X is negative 1, because that's where the line crosses the x-axis. For this problem, you point to negative 2, comma 4, 0 slope, left to right, horizontal line. And again, line crosses y-axis at y equals 4. There's our equation. So these activities will help you take care of your math space activities. Now, there was also a math space activity where you were given 2 points and you need to determine the slope. Basically, for problem 10, let's say you take remember it's y minus y over x minus x. So in this case, your y's, which is coordinate on the right-hand side, 2 minus 2 over 1 minus, now be careful, negative 5, which basically minus negative just makes this guy positive. But it really doesn't matter in the end because 2 minus 2 is 0 over 1 plus 5, which is 6. But 0 divided by any number, 0.